Do, 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 do. What's going on? Good morning. Hey, set up Facebook Live too. I think I'm on. Nathan Perez, where are you? Liz, what's going on? Shout out. I'm back. Nate, you will be happy to know that I am back on the physical bandwagon and my body is suffering because of it. Thanks, Nate. But you can't wear a Marine Corps sweatshirt and be chubby. COVID-19 is turning into the COVID plus 10, plus 15. So I'm working on it. Thanks, Nate, for that provocation, youngin. I got these young cats around me that's all physical. And just so you know, Nate, shout out, because Amon, I think you worked out with Amon. He said you tried to kill him. So I thought it was funny. Amon, little skinny behind, trying to get some muscles on him. And Nate's his trainer or torturer. So Amelia, just so you know, you and Nate might want to get together and figure out how to do some Zoom CrossFit together. Crazy people ain't doing no CrossFit. My joints can't take it. But that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. What's going on with y'all? Shout out. Where you from? Tell me where you from. I'm in the 503. I'm out in Gresham right now. Where you at? Nate's been working out with Amelia. That is a problem for everybody. That's a problem. Crystal too. Oof. Yeah, Amelia. Well, it ain't gonna happen. Beard. Who is beard tailing? Do you do beards? Can you do a virtual beard? Because my boy, shout out to Emmanuel, his beard is in trouble. So if somebody could help my man out with his beard, his stuff is, he got the COVID-19 beard going on right now. And so somebody need to help him real quick, because I don't want to see him around the church looking like that. Oh, bear detailing. My fault. Bear. Separate. You know what? This is the problem. Shout out Tracy. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning, team. My team is on board and making sure your boy is online doing what he's supposed to do at the right time. I got all of the platforms set up. They dialed in, so Amelia can stay off my neck. Those of you that don't know, Amelia is my communications director for the church. She's doing her thing. Great team effort, though. Nothing great can be done without a team. So what's going on? What y'all doing? How you living? Talk to me. What's going on? I know you social distancing. I know you're doing things, but by now you should be over the shock of everything, and you should get out of survival and into thriving. So what have you been doing? Talk to me. Give me something. I know you've been one of my friends been baking like madness, because she's my sugar pusher. She Rhonda lives the lady from B4, a good friend of mine, sister of mine. She is the best baker ever. And she just happens to make everything that your boy loves. She be dropping stuff off at the front doors, social distancing, drop it off and bounce. Come home and you find lemon bars and all kinds of stuff. So bought an RV. Okay. That's going to be some good time sitting back, fixing it. Will it be ready, hopefully, to go out this summer? What are you going to do this summer with that RV? You're going to travel around a little bit? What's going on? Hey, Crystal. Look, a couple things just by way of what we're doing, East Hill in our community. This weekend, May 2nd, we're going to blitz all of the not retail, but stores that are available, retail too, whatever's available, whatever's open on Main Street in Gresham. We're going to be all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, getting our coffee, our muffins, our candy fixes on for the kids. Whatever services are available, we're going to use them. Of course, we're going to be social distancing. So some of the spots don't allow you to actually be in the store. So you might have to order and then pick up and go. Make sure you got your mask. Make sure everybody, if you end up going out, make sure you get a mask when you come downtown, because sometimes they have, where you can go in the store, 6, 7, 8 of you in, and you can get in the store, but you got to have a mask and you got to be distancing. So we just want to, I mean, for us, local, our church, our campus, for those of you that don't know, is right in the middle of downtown Gresham. And so we have a lot of businesses within the reach of our campus. And so we just wanted to send all of our people and all the people connected to us to help our local businessmen. We love them. And it's funny because some of our team went in and said, hey, you mind if we film and promote? And all of the businesses get this. We're like, yeah, what do you want in return for that? Really suspicious and that type of thing. And I just thought, wow, man, like what kind of world do we live in where if you're going to do something good for somebody, then they expect that you want something in return. And I think it's just another opportunity for us as the contrast community, the new humanity, those that have been resurrected in Christ, these resurrected people that are now following in the way of Christ. We get to go and show people love, generosity, and want nothing in return. We just want, hey, you know what we want though? We want them burritos. We want that local cow hamburger. We want them candies, them muffins. We want that coffee. For those of you, you can have your gluten-free, whatever you want, but they got it all. So, and some of the businesses aren't open, won't be open on Saturday. Got it. Some of those businesses, the retail spaces are actually taking orders online. So, man, do what you can. Coco and I have been going out and going places locally and in our area. And we just, you know what, man, when I had a gift card to the burrito place down the street. I forgot, that place has got the best burritos in Gresham for me. Now, I'm not Hispanic, so I'm not one to talk. If you want to talk fried chicken, we can talk all day. But the burritos, I don't know. I know that was stereotypical. People are like, I can't believe he said that. Yeah, believe it. But anyway, I remembered, I didn't want to use the gift card because they're not getting any money for that in this moment. So I made sure that we paid and we gave a really, tried to give as generous a tip as, abnormal, just to help, just to say, hey, man, we see you guys. We love you. So make sure, even if you're watching this and you're from a different area, you're not from Gresham, not from Oregon, because this is on social media and it has a greater reach than just our geographic location. Wherever you are, go and serve your businessmen, take an evening with your family and just say, hey, man, we're going to go for a walk and we're going to go and either get dessert at a local business, get some ice cream, something for the kids, something for you and mama, whatever it is. Just remember them. They're there and they're struggling. A lot of businesses are closed. One of our coffee shops that is almost like East Hill, what is that? East or East Hill West is a coffee shop called Core, and they're closed because their business, they just couldn't survive it, and they had to lay off their employees and shut down. And so let's just remember that. Just a tiny way we can be a blessing to people in the crisis. And so, hey, I just, as always, every week we come on and get to share a little bit of my thought. And, honestly, truthfully, I'm at a point where I'm like, do I need to keep doing this? And my team's like, yes, people are listening. People love it. Keep doing it. Because I'm sick of seeing my face and talking to cameras. I want live people and bodies. I want to hug somebody. But anyway, if it's serving, if it's being a blessing, then I want to do it. And so I was thinking, I was, because all of us have more space than we have ever had before in our lives. So I'm listening to podcasts and reading things, and I got our staff reading some things as well. But I was on a podcast, and I, how many of you ever been in a situation where you get the Lord to speak to you from an unexpected place? And so, and I try to stay open that way. One of my sayings and one of the things I live by is I just want to stay more curious than I am convinced, because that will leave me in a place, in a posture of learning and humility. And so there's always something to learn, whether they're, I got young guns around. I got young leaders, male and female, black, white, ethnicity, all of that. And you just learn. You just learn from them and they learn from me. And that's the posture we want to take, is to be pupils and instructors. So we're teachers and pupils all the time. But these two phrases sent me, man, into a place. One was, crisis is the cradle of innovation. Crisis is the cradle of innovations, where innovation is birthed and nurtured and brought forward. And so I just thought about, hold on to that one. Crisis is the cradle of innovation. And then this other one was crisis is an expediter or multiplier. And I just thought just briefly about that, is this crisis is multiplying whatever the quality of your life was previous to this. If your marriage was shaky, if your relationships and different things were shaky and distant, then the crisis has multiplied that and made it maybe worse. But if you had some good things in your life and relationships and business and churches and different things, not everybody is struggling in this crisis. I promise you, Zoom is going through the roof right now as a result of the crisis. And they're trying to figure out new ways to get their platform out, and other businesses. And not every church is going down. Some churches are thriving in the midst of this. So business, relationships, whatever, the crisis is a multiplier or an expediter. So unfortunately, we're seeing a rise in domestic violence and different things like that. So there were already these fractures and fissures in relationships that are just being expedited now and exposed in a greater way because of the crisis. But at the same time, from a positive side of things, I think, I don't know. I think most people are probably exactly where I'm at right now, which is, I don't like this. It does indeed suck. I want relationships. I'm in our worship space right now, and I want to see the hundreds, and we got a couple thousand people that come to our church, and I would love for us to be together. And so there is that side of things, and I'm sick of it like you are. But at the same time, I'm starting to see God. For weeks I've been asking God, don't let me waste this crisis. Let me begin to see Him where you're operating in me personally, and then for those that I lead and community of faith that I lead, and those that I have extension with globally. And so I got to thinking about all of this, and isn't it like God to use Auntie Rona? That's what we're gonna call her from now on. Mike Todd said that out of Tulsa. I thought I fell out laughing in my car. I was just laughing because he took Corona and just named her Auntie Corona, or Rona, who's made us all sit down. And I started thinking, I was like, man, it's been, for a lot of people, it's been tragic in some places. In Oregon, we haven't had the outbreak that other places have been. And so it's been tragic in places. People have been sick, people have died, people have died alone by themselves in hospitals, and their family members were not able to come with them. And so this testing, this fire has acted sort of like a pressing. And it's really the pressure of it. People have lost their job, economic uncertainty about the future. What was the future going to look like? How are we going to operate? What are we going to do? And all of that's out there, and that's true. And we got to thinking about it. And I remember you'll remember in the gospel, Jesus talked about new wine being new wineskins are necessary for new wine. I got to thinking, man, that Hillsong song about new wine and the pressing and that type of thing, producing new power and new freedom. And it just turned for me. I don't know if it has for you yet. Everybody's at different places, but the whole thing just shifted for me into, okay, God, you make everything, you use everything and turn it and work it for my good. And so Corona is going to work for my good. It's going to work for the good of the community of faith that I serve. It's going to work for our good. But here's some of the things I think we need to understand. Whenever God begins to do something new, whenever God chooses to do something new, moves in a different way, if the church adopts a new strategy, like churches right now that have literally preached against this. Social media, preached against digital technology, the use of it all. Guess what? Got to eat them words now, because that's all you got. And so it's funny to me that our message is timeless, right? The message of the gospel is timeless, but the methodology about which we deliver that message has to change. We have to change. In fact, it's funny to me. I talked to a group of our small group leaders last night. And as we were talking, I said, it's ironic to me that if I said to anyone, if I say to you, hey, I want to grow, don't you want to grow? You'll say, yeah, I want to grow. I want to grow financially. I want to grow intellectually. I want to grow in my relationship. I want the church to grow. I want our business to grow. I want my department to grow. Whatever it is, we want it to grow. And then I asked the second question, what are you willing to change? And everybody's like, what do you mean? Yeah, you got to change the way you lead. You got to change the way, I've been married now over 30 years. And I can promise you, girlfriend, my wife, don't need from me what she needed. What she turned 50 last year. She don't need at 50 what she needed at 25, at 35, at 45. So like your boy has had to update his files repeatedly. And just by the time I feel like I got her, I kind of understand where she is, what she's doing. All of a sudden, boom, she take off. She in another place. She changed. She grew. And one of the things I think has been indicative of our relationship and why we seem to work is because both of us are trying to grow intellectually, emotionally, trying to heal and recover. So change is inevitable. And whenever God decides he's going to do something different, usually what fights a move of God, a new move of God, is a previous move, the way God used to move. And there's always people in the church that'll remember they got saved at a certain point. They had an experience with God at a certain time. Something good really happened. And they immediately, they're the ones that begin to say, well, that's how God moves. It's like, I got you. We're going to sing Amazing Grace, but we're going to sing these other things too, because God is moving. He didn't move past tense. He is moving continually. So we've got to evolve that way. And I'm grateful for the pressing. Don't feel good all the time. But that pressing produces new wine out of our lives. And there'll be new strategies, fresh vision, fresh dreams that you have for your family. Businesses will come out of this. Ideas will come out of this. Innovations of all kinds in all sectors will come out of this crisis. It is, as it were, the cradle of innovation. The scripture that I read that I just been meditating on is in Isaiah chapter 43. Isaiah 43 and verse 18, it says this. And this is to the nation of Israel. You have to get it in context and that type of thing. I don't have time to get into all of the historical context and different things. It's not a Bible study. Just want to share a nugget with you and get you back onto your day. But it says this, do not remember the former things. Verse 18, do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Say new thing. Come on, we in church now. I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? Question mark right in the middle of that. Behold, I'll do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, Lord, man, on the other side of this crisis, and even in the midst, you're preparing me for a new thing. You're going to do something else in my life. You're going to do it in a different way. You're going to do it through some different people. And I need to be open to the new thing that you want to do. And part of that is having the flexibility, the elasticity of my life. And, it's funny, man, I'm like, I'm 54 this year, I know, I tell y'all all the time, I don't look 54 and a grandfather because black don't crack, you know what I'm saying? But the older I get, here's a funny thing. The older I get, I used to be able to just put my hands flat. If I bend down, put my hands flat on the floor, and just stretch and just put my hands flat on the floor, all the way back, open my legs up, put my hands reversed back on the floor with no problem. Now, let's just say I need to do some pre-stretching before I stretch to get that done, because the older I get, the more rigid my muscles get, and they tend to not be as elastic. They're not as flexible. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. And so I have to work at that. Shout out to Nate, Crystal, Amelia, leave me alone. I'm working, I'm doing my thing, not your thing. But there's something about that. As you get older, you just get sort of stuck and sort of rigid. And we got to resist that as people. We just have to resist that. And there's some people that's going to be listening to me that are older, and you just now catching up. You couldn't even spell you Zoom before, or Facebook, and now you're on Facebook and you're learning. And that is so good. You're over 55 and 60 and you just getting on Facebook and just figuring out the live stream. You are learning some new things. God is moving. I mean, I think the reach that we had so far, I think we maxed out so far at about 10 different countries on a Sunday. I looked at the map of all of the places, Latin America, South America, Eastern Europe, that through this season, God is giving us new territory. And I would say, individually, I bet you God wants to give you some new territory as well. That there's some new things that God wants to say to you, some new strategies He wants to birth in you. And so He's doing a new thing. And then the question in the middle of that verse, shall you not perceive it? So when I thought about it, I thought, man, you mean to tell me that God could be moving, doing some new things, and I not perceive it? I'd be blinded to it, not able to see it. So I was like, Lord, man, help me to have vision so I can see not sight, vision. So I can see how you're posturing and moving in an unseen way that will soon manifest itself in my life, in the life of our church, in my family's life. Like, what is the new thing that you're doing? I don't want to miss. Come on, y'all. We don't want to miss what God is doing in the midst of this. So look, at a certain point, let's dry our eyes. We cried enough over Auntie Rona and COVID-19. Let's not cry anymore. And let's begin to say, okay, God, you've comforted. The Holy Spirit come alongside. Now help me to conceive new vision. Help me to bring forth and contain, help me to contain the new wine that you want to birth in all of us. And you want to pour in, and then you know how the Lord works. He wants us to pour that out as well. And I just love, because He says in the last part of that verse, is I will make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And I just thought, man, Lord, you're going to create pathways that previous to this crisis for us were blocked and impassable, that we couldn't get through, couldn't find a way through, couldn't pray a way through, couldn't get through for our business, couldn't get the business to the next level, couldn't figure out how to break into new markets. And so we didn't have a clear road or pathway through the wilderness, as it were, of difficulties and obstacles. And here the Lord is like, hey, by the way, when I do this new thing, there's going to be some new pathways, some new roadways through the wilderness that previously didn't exist. And oh, by the way, I'm going to give you resources and refreshing, these rivers and desert places. This idea that I could be refreshed, provided for from some unexpected, unexplainable ways. And I'm already seeing that in our church, man. The incredible generosity of our church, our giving. I mean, it is incredible to see what God has done through our church. I don't know what's going on anywhere else, but through our church, it's been nothing short of miraculous. We've been able to not only take care of what we need to take care of to hold territory, but through my wife and her team and their efforts to bless and love our city, we have gone from almost no footprint of really blessing our community to being a hub for that kind of community for the city, and forming partnerships every day, more people coming together and that type of thing. And so I just thank God that in the middle of the wilderness, He is providing, He is making streams in the desert, and He's given us roadways or pathways through the wilderness. And I just think all of you should hold on to that and just say, you know what, God, help me to perceive, help me to see, help me. Where are you operating in my life individually? What changes be through the pressing, like the Garden of Gethsemane, like that place of press. Through the pressing, we're saying, like Jesus said, nevertheless, not my will. I didn't want to go through this. Jesus asked, can this cup pass from before me? He didn't want to go to the cross. He wanted to see if there was another way to redeem humanity. But he left that place of pressing with a renewed focus and empowered focus to say, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. And that's what we all are saying. We don't have much choice. God, okay, we're in it. It's what it is. Now, give us vision, give us eyes so that we can see and perceive. We don't want to miss what you're doing, and we don't want to be stuck in a previous model or methodology of the way you used to move in our own lives, organizationally, in our businesses. It's amazing to watch the innovation that's already starting to come out. General Motors has retrofitted all of their car manufacturing to make ventilators, like turned on a dime and just refitted everything to serve. The president enacted the wartime powers and different things. And so captains in industry pivoted, changed, innovated, and were able to serve so that people could get ventilators. Now we're exporting the ventilators. And so I wonder if you and I could be as nimble, as agile that way in our walk with God and our life. Like, we're thankful for what we have, but we're not holding on to anything. We want our hands to be open before the Lord. Like, God, thank you for giving it to us. You can take it. We distribute it. We give to others, whatever it is, revelation, resources, money, time, whatever. We're not stuck, and you're moving. And so, Lord, for each individual, for all of us that's watching today, what is the thing that you're doing in us? And if crisis is the cradle of innovation and you are pressing to bring new wine out of us, then be it so. Amen. So be it. Be it so. So be it. Look, man, I love you. I care about you. I want you to be encouraged, but I just think it's time to shift the focus and just say, hey, God, do your work in us, man. Give me eyes to see. Do this new thing. And that should be the prayer, right? What is the new thing that you're doing in my life, God? And I want to partner with that. I want to come alongside of what the Spirit is doing in my life, my business, my city, my country, my world. What is God doing in the world right now that I can partner with and be a part of? So that's me. That's where I'm at today. Eating less sugar, eating less donuts, all that stuff. Rona got me, man. My face is all full. That ain't all beard, y'all. But I'm having a good time. Really getting to see the hand of the Lord in some unique ways and super embracing it. So here's what I say to you. Yeah, I want to hug you. I definitely want to hug. Y'all, anybody that knows me knows I'm a hugger. I'm a squeezer. I'm a touchy-feely person. I'm not introverted at all, extroverted. And all of that is gonna, we'll get back to some sense of normal. But you know what? I don't want to go back to what was. I want God to do some new things in me, in our community of faith, in my city, in our world. I don't want us to go back to the way we were. I don't want to go back to being busy and not have enough time to sit down and have a glass of wine with a friend or sit in the backyard with the fire pit and just be. I want to be more present coming out of this with the Lord and with my relationships. And I want to be transformed as a result of what we've experienced. I want to see the transforming hand of the Lord in and through my life. So anyway, love you. Don't forget, those of you that are in the Gresham area, those of you that are in the East County of Portland, make sure you get out and get to your businesses in your community. We're going to be on Main Street, blitzing Main Street. Bring your mask, obey the social distancing rules. Some places you have to order your food ahead of time, go pick it up. And just get online. There are some businesses that you would have to get online with, and retail spaces, you order online and they'll ship to you. But let's do our best to help our businessmen and women in our community and whatever community you're in right now. When you're watching, get out, man. Go get a cup of coffee. You say, I don't drink coffee. Go get a cup of tea. Go down and just be an encouragement. Say, hey, I just wanted to come down and tell you, man, I'm praying for you. Love you. Those of you that are wondering about the different businesses that are available in downtown Gresham, go to the East Hill Church Family Facebook page, and we got all kinds of videos highlighting the businesses that are down there. Our whole team, they love this thing. They've been going downtown, shooting videos from the local cow and the burrito shop and all these places. And what one of the things it's doing is just encouraging our businessmen and businesswomen and letting them know that we see them, we love them, we appreciate them, and we're gonna help them get through. So go East Hill, go in whatever community you're in, and go support your local businessmen. And oh, by the way, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, we're gonna make a change. My personal Facebook page will be going away in the next week or so. I think our communications department, and I will be getting a Facebook page that is a public figure. I can't even say that funny. There's a whole funny story about this public figure thing in our family. It's an inside joke between my kids and my wife and I, because I think I said one time, I'm a public figure now, blah, blah, blah. It's like years ago, and they just will not let me live it down. But because of the influx of all of the people that are now following and commenting, I can't stay up with all that stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use a public figure Facebook page, still put out content, still engage in a certain way, but my team is going to help serve me that way. Our communication, social media people, they're going to help. And so it doesn't take so much of my day and so much of my time. We'll still engage. And you'll see that information, and it'll direct you right to the page, and you can do what you need to do that way. Love you. Appreciate you. See you next week. Hey, man, be encouraged. Be encouraged. God's doing some new things, and we're going to embrace that. Love you. Take care.